Well, hello everyone, it's Sarah Pickenbrown here, and it's an absolute pleasure as always to have you joining me for this dynamic Pilates session. We're not using any weights today, we're not using any equipment. However, if you have a yoga block, of which I'm sitting on right now, you have one of these guys, please feel free to use that. Mainly as a meditation seat, which we'll be doing a little bit of a meditation towards the end of the session. It is a mindfulness meditation. There is a difference between meditation and mindfulness, and I will journey into the explanations of that a little bit further into the session. So do stick around for that. If you've never done any meditation or mindfulness practice before, then this may be something new. So have an explore, see whether or not you enjoy it. But before we get into that, we do have our full body dynamic Pilates session. So when you're ready, I invite you to come to a seated position and then laying on your back on the floor, and we'll begin. So as we lay onto your block or your rolled up towel, take the arms wide and take the soles of the feet together. And we're just going to open up all of that office posture, rounding through the top of the back. As we take a deep breath in, feel the lungs expanding and feel the rib cage expanding as you breathe. We often feel an inability to take a full breath of air because the diaphragm is tight. Now, the diaphragm is a band of muscle that lays just underneath the rib cage, and it goes underneath the rib cage and separates the rib cage from the lung sacs. And it is a muscle that allows the movement through the rib cage, the expansion and contraction of the rib cage as we breathe, to allow the expansion and contraction of the lungs as they fill with air. And often when we are under a lot of stress, or perhaps don't have this opening through the thoracic of the spine and the front of the body, when we don't have that opening and that stretching capacity on a regular basis, the diaphragm can get quite tight. So this is a really beautiful opportunity for you to feel that opening, and it's maybe quite a stretch as well as we open through the front of the body. Now on your next inhale, we'll start to reach the arms above the crown of the head. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. We then reach the arms forward and making large circles with the arms, allowing the arms in the rib cage, in the shoulder girdle and the rib cage to expand. For 4, for 3. And just take your time with this. Sometimes the shoulders can be quite tight through the front of the shoulders as well. So you might find there's a bit of clunking of tendons over each other. You might find that they're a bit uneven and that it's not a fluid roll of the arms. Just notice that. And then we'll go the other way for maybe 4. Inhale, reach the arms up above the crown of the head. Lengthen, shoulders stay down. For 3. And if there is any pain, just take it easy. Don't force anything. You can pop a towel underneath the base of the skull as well if you're finding that the neck feels a little bit congested. And then we release. Now we'll take your block or your towel, bring the knees together, remove the block or the towel from underneath the spine. And we'll just allow the spine to lengthen into the floor. Maybe hug the knees in. Just allow that compression of the spine. And exhale. Nice. So let's place the soles of the feet down on the floor now. We'll place the feet to the edge of the mat, if you choose. And we'll just windscreen wipe the knees into the center of the mat. Feel the internal rotation of the long bones of the thigh in the hip socket, and just perhaps a little release through the lower back as well. Just a couple more. And then we'll come to neutral, bring the soles of the feet in alignment with the sit bones. So right underneath you, knees pointing to the sky. We're not letting the knees knock. We're not dropping them open. They are completely aligned to the hips. And start to pick the toes up, spread the toes wide, press them down. Taking a deep inhale, we'll start to roll up through the spine as we draw the belly into the floor. We'll flatten out the lower back. Press into the soles of the feet. We continue the roll up through the spine. We then draw the belly in, roll back down through the spine, and come to neutral. Again, for 4, belly in, roll up, and then roll down. Exhale. So this is paced with your own breath. Your inhale pace and your exhale pace. If I'm going too fast for your breath, then go at your own, not mine. If I'm going too slow, then just go at your own breath pace. Beautiful. And here's your last one. And we're going to hold here at the top of your bridge. We lift both heels off the floor. Press them down. Heels off. Press them down. Inhale, exhale. Press them down for 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. We hold. We pulse the hips a little lower and then push the hips up to the sky. Squeeze the glutes. Lower and lift. Lower and lift. Squeeze the backs of the shoulders into the floor. For 4, press. 3, belly's in. For 2, now we're going to double time. Pulse the hips for 1, 2, 3. Lift the heels. 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here's 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Squeeze, hold. Press both heels down into the floor firmly. We extend your right leg directly up to the sky. Point the toe or flex the toe. Just make sure the leg's active. We then lengthen that right leg. Knees come parallel. Push the hips up. And then lengthen it back up to the sky. We have 4 of these. For 4 and squeeze. For 3 and squeeze. For 2, keep pushing the hips to the sky. Last one, squeeze. We cross the right ankle over the left knee and make sure those hips are square to the sky. Press the right knee down. We hold here for 4, 3, 2, 1. Extend the leg tall. Place the sole of the foot on the floor without putting the hips down. In fact, we'll press them up a bit. And then we lengthen the left leg. Beautiful. So we inhale, keep squeezing the pubic bone up towards the sky. We lengthen the left leg. Both knees come parallel and then extend to the sky. Parallel, extend for 4 and 3 and 2 and last one, squeeze. Flex the foot, cross the left ankle over the right knee. Push both hip bones up to the sky evenly. Backs of the shoulders into the floor. We inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Lengthen the left leg directly up to the sky. Place the sole of the foot on the floor. We roll down through the spine, 1 vertebrae at a time, and then we'll roll the knees over to the right side. Feel a release. Come back through center, roll them over to the left side, feel a release. Come back through to the center. We reach the arms above the crown of the head. Extend the legs down to the top of the mat. Squeeze the inside seam of the legs together. Belly draws in. Flatten out the lower back to the floor. As we exhale, tuck the chin in. Roll all the way up through the spine. We fold forward over those legs. Exhale. Lengthen the arms all the way up to the crown of the head. Belly draws in, shoulders down. We roll down through the spine, one vertebrae at a time. Take your time. We lengthen all the way back. Inhale. Super strong and straight through the entire body. The fronts of the ankles are open, toes are pointed, shoulders down, belly's pulling into the spine, flattening out the lower back. Fingertips are reaching to the top of the mat as we exhale. Chin tucks in, roll up, fold forward. Lengthen, sit tall, rolling all the way down. Let's do 2 more of these, guys. So we reach the arms all the way back. A little bit more fluid. Exhale, fold. Sit tall. Roll down. 1 more. We inhale. Exhale. Sit tall, fold forward. And then we lengthen all the way up through. Inhale, exhale. Take the tented fingers on the floor just behind the sit bones. We then lift the right leg off the floor, flex the foot, point the foot, lower down. Nothing moves at the torso. So we inhale, lift, left, flex, point, and lower. Again, inhale, try not to round through the top of the back, so we don't want to drop the chest. Lift, flexy, pointy, lower. 1 more, left leg, up, flexy, pointy, lower. We then reach the arms all the way out, bring the knees into the soles of the foot being on the floor, take the arms about 45 degrees. We round through the top of the back, tuck the tailbone under, bring the arms in, tuck the chin in, and then lengthen and lift. So we're doing a big C curve and then sit tall. Big C curve, maybe go a little bit lower. Can you come down a bit further before we do a lengthen and sit tall? Lift the chest, big C curve, and lengthen and lift. Let's do 4 more. We squeeze, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. We inhale, lengthen. We now bring both soles of the feet off the floor. Have the shins parallel to the floor. If you want to hold on behind the knees, please do so. This is step 1. A bit more challenging is that the arms come out and we hold. So we want to make sure, just checking in, that the feet are either flexed or they're pointed. They're doing something. They're not just hanging out there. The shin bones are completely parallel to the floor. They're not higher, although that is more challenging, but they're certainly not lower. That's not so great. So we want to keep them either parallel or perhaps a little extended. From here, you may release the arms. We hold here for 4. Keep squeezing the knees for 3, for 2, and for 1. Place the soles of the feet down on the floor. Hands come to the tops of the knees. We sit tall. We then come down through big C curve. I'm just going to walk forward here, guys. Big C curve. And we roll down through the spine. Flatten out the lower back. Flatten out the top of the chest. Into the floor. Hug the knees in. As we extend the left. Now, option 1 is that you keep the torso on the floor and the belly button pulls through to the spine. Option 2, you want to exhale, reach and lengthen. Little switch change. Belly button still pulls through to the spine. We hold on to the right leg, left hand at ankle, right hand top of the knee. Pull that leg in. So we are getting a stretch. We're working through the arms. We inhale, exhale, the chest. Keep the belly button pulling through to the spine. Make sure your right leg is super strong and straight. Make sure that it's super straight. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. We go for 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. Shoulders pull away. We're pressing the tongue and of the mouth behind the front teeth. This will disengage all of the muscle tension at the front of the neck. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Bring everything down to the floor, hug the knees into the chest. Then exhale, lengthen the legs up to the sky. Try to have a 90-degree angle at this hip line. You may slightly bend the knees and perhaps flex the feet if you need to feel the belly button pulling through to the spine. And over time, as we get a little bit stronger through the fronts of the legs and the engagement of the core, we can start to stretch those legs and point the feet. Lift the head and shoulders off the floor and reach the fingertips to the top of the mat, palms up. Scissor switch. We inhale, lengthen right leg to the floor. Exhale, switch change. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Now normally we do hold on to the legs as we do our switch change, but I'm making it a little bit more challenging today for you guys. So you can, if you find you start to fatigue and you start to lose the control through the core, hold on to the backs of the thighs. You may choose to do that, but there is the option for slightly more challenging. I invite you to have an explore of that. We go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug everything in, lower down. We're going to do that same exercise again, but we're going to pace it out this time. So we have a little more intensity. Take a deep breath. And the legs up to the sky. Taking the fingertips to the top of the mat. We'll double time it. We inhale. We go switch and 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, hold 7, 8, 9, 10. Double time again. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Squeeze in. You can roll up and down the spine a couple of times. Just feel that spine pressing into the earth. Feel the massage through the core. We'll cross the legs and then we'll come through to being belly on the floor. And we'll take the forehead into the tops of the hands. We'll start to move through the back work now. So we've done the front of the body. Now we're going to work the back of the body. We keep everything even. We squeeze the heels together, squeeze the inside seam of the legs together, squeeze the glutes. 100-pound bill between your butt cheeks. Hold on to it. We then press the pubic bone to the floor, lengthen the shoulders away from the ears. We take the arms out to the side in a T shape. We then lift and lengthen. Head and shoulders come off the floor. We reach the arms above the crown of the head, palms to floor, shoulders down, back to T shape and lower down. We inhale, lift, lengthen, T shape and lower. Lift, lengthen, T shape, lower. Lift, lengthen, T shape, lower. One more. We lift, lengthen, and we go through T shape to bring the hands down beside you, palms to floor, squeeze the shoulder blades together. We inhale, hold. Exhale, lower down. Take your right cheek to the floor and release. Beautiful. We take a deep breath in, bring the forehead to the floor. Keep squeezing the inside seam of the legs together. Pubic bone presses to the earth. We squeeze the shoulder blades together. Draw the palms to the floor as we reach the fingertips towards the toes. We lift. Right leg off the floor. Lower down. Left leg lengthens. Lift the heart and chest. Lower down. Right leg and lower. Left leg and lower. Right, lower. Two more. Left and lower. Last one. Right and lower. Lift the heart and chest a little more. And then we lower down. Back of the hands to the floor and left cheek to the floor. You might want to give the hips a little wiggle. let it go. Beautiful. We then take the hands and reach the arms out to the top corners of the mat. Now we're going to do our right and left lengthens of arms and legs. So we're going opposites for the next exercise. They're like two corners of a square piece of paper being folded together, top and bottom corners being folded together. So from here, shoulders draw away from the ears, toes are pointed. We lift right arm, left leg, opposite, opposite, hold, and then exhale, lower. Inhale, left arm, right leg, and exhale, lower. Inhale, lengthen, and lower. Let's go. 8 more, opposing sides each time, alternating, and lower. 6, and lower. Legs are squeezing firmly together as we lift. Inside seams are active of those legs. The front of the quads is super strong and straight and active. We're drawing the kneecaps up into the hip socket. So those legs are not bending at the knee. We're not doing this. Okay, we are extending that leg right from the top of the thigh. And 4, and lower. Inhale, exhale, and lower. Inhale, exhale, and lower. Last one, we reach, lengthen, and down. Now we keep the feet together, this time pressing the pubic bone into the floor, shoulders down. We lift the right arm. We then yawn it open, lift the top of the back, come back through to parallel, and then lower down. Inhale, left arm lifts, yawn the shoulders open to look towards the left edge of the mat, back to parallel, shoulders line up to the front of the mat, and then lower down. Let's go 5 more. Lift right, yawn open, back to center, and lower. Left arm, yawn open, squeeze the feet together, and lower down. 3 more. Right arm, yawn it open, and lengthen, and lower. 2 more. Left arm, open, shoulders stay down. We're lifting the chest, lengthening the shoulders towards the heels. And we've got 1 more. We inhale, lift, and lengthen to the top and lower down. Beautiful. We then bring the hands underneath the shoulders, press back into your child's pose through puppy dog pose. Tuck the toes under. You may wish to plant the fingers on the floor. Stretches all the way down the mats here underneath the armpit. And if you tuck the top, beautiful. We then come through to your tabletop position, keeping the toes tucked under. Let's just shift the sit bones back over those heels. I feel the stretch on the underside of those feet. And then come back through to your tabletop. Beautiful. So we're going to draw the belly in, round through the top of the back. Feel that stretch of all those muscles that we've just worked. And then lengthen all the way through. Draw the belly in, inhale. And then exhale, lengthen. Beautiful. Inhale. Exhale, lengthen back to neutral. So from here, toes are still tucked under, the belly's drawing in, so we're not dropping the torso to the floor. Continue to lift the undercarriage of the body up. Spread your fingers wide. Squeeze the inside seam of those elbows together. So if you notice that your arms are winging out to the edge of the mat and we're kind of getting this outward position, you want to squeeze those elbows in and make sure that the hands are directly underneath the shoulders, so that we're supporting the joint with the muscles, not just locking the joints out. Okay, it's really important. So we take a deep breath in, lift the knees 3 inches off the floor. core engagement. If it wasn't engaged already, we've got another opportunity right now. So we're ready. We're going to lengthen your right leg parallel to the floor. Hold. Your bottom knee is off the floor. Beautiful. We then bring it back in. Lengthen. Left leg parallel to the floor. No high. We don't want to be up here, and we don't want to lift that knee off the floor too high. It's just 3 inches, and the back leg is parallel. Come back into your crouch position. Knees are off the floor. Extend. Right. Bring it in. Nothing moves at the spine. Left. Bring it in. Feels good, right? Right. Or it feels hard. Good, hard, same. All right, we go 4 more. And 3 more. Feel those shoulders working. Good stuff. For 2 more. Here's your last one. Beautiful. Now take the feet to the edge of the mat. Stay in your crouch. We walk the hands all the way back towards the toes. Press the heels down. You may wish to turn them in slightly. And we come into a squat position. For the yogis in the room, this is called Malasana squat. If you don't do yoga, it's just a really deep squat. What it's doing is opening up through those hips. If you find this challenging, it is for about 95% of the population, so take your time. The more that you do this, the more that the hips will open up. We want to make sure that we plug those little pinky toes of the feet down, and we press the knees out with the elbows. Push into the hands and draw the shoulders away from the ears. We also want to make sure that we're not rounding and dropping through the top of the back. So we don't want to have this enclosing position. We want to make sure that everything is open. I'm going to hold it here for 2 more breaths, guys. Stay with me. For 3, for 2, and for 1. Really good work. Excellent. So we'll walk those hands all the way out now. Come back to your crouch position. So your knees will be directly underneath the hips. Beautiful. From here, we're going to lift those sit bones up into a tippy-toed downward dog. Slight bend in the knees and press to tuck the tailbone under and round through the top of the back to come into a high plank. We roll onto the blade edge of your left foot inside seam of the right, and we'll reach your right arm up to the sky. We're going to transfer over. So we take right arm to the floor, roll over the feet, lengthen the left arm to the sky. Come back down to the floor. We do 4 and lower. 3, lift the hips, lower. 2, keep breathing, easy breath. Try not to hold your breath. I know it can be challenging when we're adding new things in. And then we hold here, lower the knees down. Press back into child's pose. Come back through your tabletop position, untuck the toes. Lengthen the legs, chests forward, dome the top of the back. We bring the right knee to your right elbow. Take it back to the floor. Left knee, left elbow. Take it back to the floor. Let's go. 8 more. 8 and back. 7 and back. 6. 5, take your time, 4 and 3. Be precise with the movement, knee to elbow, just above the elbow at the back of the tricep. And last one, knees come down, press back. Let's come back through to your tabletop. We're going to shift your sit bones now down onto the floor. Okay, take your left hand so that it's directly underneath your shoulder. We're going to take your knees so that they align, bring them back so that they align through to the shoulders. So we don't want to have a 90-degree position here. We'll make sure that we lengthen them back towards the top of the mat. We lift the hips up and take your right hand onto the top hip. Extend your right leg. So we've got the left hand down, right leg's extended. Push the pubic bone forward to the right long edge of your mat. Try and make sure we're not sitting back here. Okay, it's going to make it very difficult for the shoulder and also for your knee. So you want to make sure that the spine is aligned and that your shoulder is directly over the heel of the hand. We then lift and lengthen top leg for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. On your last one, we squeeze, hold, bend the knee in, heel to bum, extend for 2, extend, and 3. Here's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one for 10. Extend, lower the foot to the floor and plant the sole of the foot down. We're lifting the hips up. Reach your right arm straight up to the sky. We bring left knee and foot aligned to the behind the right and then bring it back down to the floor. Squeeze and lower. Squeeze and lower. 4, 3. Keep lifting the hips. 2. Now your last one we hold here. We bring right arm to the floor. Reach it up to the floor. Reach it up. 4 more. 4 and 3 and 2 and last one. Squeeze, hold, hold. Lower the inside knee to the floor. Come to a kneeling position and we'll just place the hands onto the tops of the thighs. Take a big shoulder roll. If you want to have a little wrist roll with that left hand, please do so. And then we'll place right hand underneath right shoulder. Come to the sit bones finding the floor. Align the knees up so that they're in line with the hips and we press the hips up to the sky. Left hand on hip. Left leg extends. Pubic bone towards the edge of the mat. Lengthen the chest. We inhale, lengthen and lift for 10 and 9. 8, 7, legs truly turned in, 6. So we're working the outer edges of this hip. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, hold, bend the knee in, heel to bum, keep the thigh up, and then extend the leg. So we don't want to drop that knee down as the foot comes in. We want to keep this thigh open, heel to bum, extend for 3 and 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. Lengthen the leg out of the hip socket. Last one. Hold. We then lower the foot to the floor. Plant the sole of the foot down. Extend the left arm up to the sky. You can either look up, look forward, or look down. That's your eye gaze. We then bring right foot behind left. Lower the knee for 2 and squeeze. 3. Squeeze. 4 more, 3 more, 2 more. On your last one, we squeeze, hold, plant both soles of the feet down on the floor, squeeze the knees together, squeeze the inner thighs together, lift the hips, lift the heart, lift the chest, smile. All good. We then bring left arm down and squeeze. And 2, lots going on, hey? And 3, inhale, exhale. And 4, good, 4 more, we go. 4, just keep telling yourself, this is easy, we've got this. And 3, even if you fall over, we've still got it, it's all good. And 2, and last one. And lengthen, hold, lift the chest, lift the heart, look up perhaps. We then bring your inside knee to the floor, bring the other knee in, come to a kneeling position. Place the hands onto the top of the knees, on the thighs. Take a deep breath, close the eyes down. Find your stillness after all that chaos. The excitation of the nervous system. Just allow everything to come back to equilibrium. Beautiful. Really nice, guys. All right, so little roll of the wrists. We're going to come through to your tabletop position now. Let's take your right foot between the hands. Tuck the back toe under. If you need to move your knee back a little, then please do so. Just give yourself some space so you can drop the hips down. Lengthen the spine. So we have this big deep stretch through the inner thighs. And then when you're ready, we'll shift your sit bones back and draw the toes back towards the face. If you need to walk the hands back, please do so. We fold forward. Beautiful. We then transfer back through. Now, if you do have your towel, you can grab your towel. Now, if you don't have your towel, I'll also demonstrate it without the towel. But if you do have a towel, take it in the length of the towel, make a loop, and take it on the foot. Place your left hand down, and we'll draw that heel towards the glute using your towel. If you don't have a towel, you can use your jumper or piece of clothing, or if you have the range, you can just grab hold of the foot with the hand, whichever works for you. So sometimes we don't have yoga straps. If you do have a yoga strap, obviously use it, but sometimes we just have to make do with what's around. It's half the fun, right? Start looking at objects around the home as tools for your fitness regime in a whole different way. Beautiful. We then release, take the back toe, tuck it under, step back into a high plank with that right leg, and then just simply transfer, step the left leg forward and move the knee, the back knee, the right knee back if you need to. Lengthen the chest. So we still want to be lengthening all the way through the front of this body. We don't want to have the hips back because that breaks the line that we're stretching. We want to stretch from the knee all the way through the hip, all the way through to the crown of the head. Exhale. Beautiful. Keep squeezing the shoulder blades together. If you do notice that you're quite hunched forward, this office posture has gotten a grip, really try and pull those shoulder blades down and lift the chest. We then shift those sit bones back, draw the toes back towards the face as we draw the belly in, square the hips off, so left hip back, right hip forward, and fold forward. Forehead towards the knee, taking a slight bend and string. Towards the face. Over hyperextension of the tendons, which stretched tendon, it never goes back, becomes a weak point and opens itself up to injury. So we do want to make sure that we look after our tendons. Stretch the muscles, protect the tendons. Beautiful. We then transfer back forward, plant the right palm down inside the left foot, reach the left arm back, use your strap, towel, jumper, hand, whatever you have available to you to allow yourself the access to this stretch. Taking deep inhales and exhales. Beautiful. We then release all the way through. We're going to slide that shin bone forward. So we're coming into a little crouch position. Take the sit bone down to the floor. We'll just find your sit bones on the earth. Cross your left shin on top of your right, stacking joint above joint on both sides. And we want to align the shin bones up to the front of your mat. We reach the arms all the way up to the sky. Let's take a side bend over one side and then the other side. Nice fluid lyrical movement. Try not to jerk or jar or force anything. Everything's just fluid and with ease as we exhale, fold forward. Let the head release. Beautiful. We then roll all the way back up. Interlace the fingers behind the back. Squeeze the heel of the hands down and then away from you. I'll just change my positioning here so you can see. We squeeze down, lift the chest, and then lift them as much as you can. Keep drawing the shoulders away from the ears. And then release. Let's change legs. So we'll take the right on top of the left. So again, just notice if the bottom shin is kind of tucked underneath the glute. We want to make sure that those shins are truly stacked one on top of the other. Imagine that the lower part of the leg is like two logs that you're stacking for your fire stack. Okay, so reach the arms all the way up to the sky and over. And then coming all the way through, over the other side. And reach both arms up to the sky. Let's tent the fingers on the floor. Lift the heart and the chest first. And then before we descend to the floor, this time we're going to take the forearms, grabbing hold of the opposite forearms behind your back. We fold forward this way. Just notice the difference of the stretch, the quality of the stretch, perhaps the depth of the stretch when we take this positioning with the arms. Also notice if you create more space at the shoulders, between the shoulders and the ears. Personally, I find that this just increases the stretch through the hip just that bit more. And if it is too intense for you, you can return back to the arms being forward. That may just provide a little extra support, which is also absolutely fine. We then walk the hands all the way back in. Now interlace the fingers behind the back. We'll squeeze the heel of the hands together, draw the shoulders down away from the ears as we lengthen out of the sit bones. Lift the arms back a little, maybe look up. Just feel the broadening through the top of the chest and the front of the shoulders. And then we release. Excellent. Let's take the soles of the feet, either place them together. If you'd like to take a forward fold, please do so. Otherwise, we will come to find your sit bones on the floor. With your block or your towel, if you choose to place that underneath your sit bones, just so that your hips are higher than your knees, as we come to our meditation seat for the final portion of the practice. Placing the hands, palms down in the lap, maybe palms up. You may wish to place the hands into the little nook in the hips, simply so that if you find your shoulders are tipping forward and you feel that you're straining, that the head's out of alignment with the spine, that can be quite a nice position. It doesn't look so great, but it's actually quite a comfortable position for your meditation. It just takes all the pressure off the shoulders. You may wish to take a mudra, and you may have seen the hand position of the index finger and the thumb with the three fingers extended, palms open. This is Gayana Mudra. In yogic terms, this is a symbolic gesture to the divine. It invites creativity, wisdom, inspiration, and knowledge from Akasha, which is the all-knowing universe. And all mudras are symbolic gestures to the divine, as mantras are audible signatures and gestures, and yogic or yoga, the asana practice of making physical shapes with the body, is also a gesture to the divine. They're symbols of communication. So as we sit, perhaps with your hands in Gayana Mudra, I invite you to bring your awareness to the breath. Feel the sit bones anchoring into your yoga block or towel or your mat. It is this practice of mindfulness being aware of your present moment sensations, the experience of being here right now, the fluctuations of the breath, the fluctuations within the body, the mind, your energy body, and your physical body. The yogis speak of 5 bodies that we occupy: the mind, emotion, physical, and spiritual, and energetic. When any one of these bodies is out of alignment with the unified body, the self, this is where we find that we are unbalanced, out of balance. We don't feel quite right. We feel disconnected, perhaps anxious. Perhaps we feel pain, mental pain, emotional pain, or physical pain. But it is through the mindfulness practice of being aware, and then through the deeper level of meditation, where we are open to inspiration and knowledge, both of self and of self within the world, that we begin to bring all of the elements of our being into alignment. And it is only through stillness and through witnessing in the space of stillness that this can occur. So in the spirit of stillness and awareness, observing what is going on in this moment for you right now, I will be silent for the next 10 breaths, and I invite you to simply observe without judgment, without a story or explanation or justification. Just simply observe what's going on right now. Notice if you want to scratch or twitch or move because suddenly you're sitting still and that's difficult to do. Even that, observe that. How interesting. My body needs to move and twitch and distract me. How interesting. My thoughts seem to move across my mind and need to be chaotic and distract me. How interesting. As you take your last 2 inhales and complete the cycle of breath with the exhales, we will together close this session, this meditation practice, with our hands at Heart Prayer Center. Feel the energy between the palms of the hands and the thumbs pressing into the heart space, connecting body and heart and mind We'll take 3 deep inhales and exhales on the count of 1. A little more dynamic, a little more energizing. We inhale, exhale, inhale, let everything go, exhale, inhale, exhale, bringing the thumbs to your third eye space. I invite you to take a bow, not only to yourselves in reverence for the space, energy, and time you've given yourself today, but also to each other for holding space wherever you may be for each other in this moment. Namaste. Everyone, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure guiding you through. I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you in our next session together. Take care.